my audio settings and things like that as we jump into this game. And it's going to be... Okay, so let's do formal introductions. So hey everybody, welcome back to the SEA League Qualifier number 1. We have progressed pretty far in the bracket, so this is actually our winner bracket final between Dreamz, Ledion, and First Departure. First Departure going to be over on the Radiant side, and Dreamz, Ledion going to be on the Dire. We've seen a Darkseer, a Nyx, a Batrider, and a Magnus banned out so far. Again, keep in mind the Keeper of the Light and the PL as potential pickups. And just trying to see if everything is more or less working out here. But looks like everything's okay. So getting underway with the game. And we've had a few disconnects here and there, but neither of the... Actually, the drafter for Dreamz has disconnected. So that's... Oh, wait, no, pink's not first slot. What am I on about? No, it actually is. Okay, so this pick is actually about to random unless he reconnects. So that's going to get really weird really quickly. But hopefully he'll reconnect and be able to get this pick off. You can't actually pause while you're in this screen, so we might have to see a remake just with these bans again. And I'm still desperately trying to fix up a couple of settings and things like that in the background. So that's a random pick. That's Ricky. We're going to have a remake, I suspect, in just a second, since, yeah, we had that disconnect off. So we'll probably see a remake in just a second. Hello, everyone who's appearing out of thin air. I didn't realize that there was more SEA League tonight. So, yeah, I'm back, in fact. Getting a little bit late now as well, but hopefully it'll all still be okay. And I think this is the game that does need to be remade, so I'll be able to do a formal introduction and everything. And yes, Calicott is a mod here, so you guys can deal with him. And he seems to do a good enough job to be a mod on everyone else's stream, so he is also a mod here. He convinced me he's a sneaky guy. And Koro, also my other mod. A failed Kappa face in chat right now. And what else have I got going on? Is that the next game, or is this still the old one? We'll see. Yeah, I swear Calicott just spends all of his day on Twitch TV chats. I swear, I jump from stream to stream and I see him every single time. He's on Synderen's stream, then he's on Shiva's stream, then he's on this stream and that stream, and every other stream in between. So that's some fun stuff right there. Okay, I've still got one or two last things to fix up, but I'll be back and casting in just a minute, guys, so look forward to that. Well, or don't look forward to it, depending on how much you enjoy my casting. And this is still just the same game, so it looks like we're still waiting around on that remake. Hopefully it'll be up in just a minute. Am I streaming FD versus Dreamz? It's the only game that's on for SEA League at the moment. So yeah, that's the one that I'm doing, Oriabab. There aren't any concurrent games. So yeah. This is still just a game that I believe was just remade. So we're still waiting around on the full remake there. That's weird. My countdown clock is for the 22nd of January, yes. I've been very lazy in terms of updating that. So sorry about that, guys. this is still the game that's being that we are waiting to have remade. So hopefully we'll have the game up in just a minute. But until then, sit tight, guys. Yeah, so that's about all I have to say. I'm gonna put a little bit of music on while we wait, and I'll be back as quickly as I possibly can. Thanks, get fucking wrecked, and I'm gonna guess and say Happy Australia Day to you, buddy. Just based on the name, that's all. Okay guys, an abrupt end to the music heralds the start of this game, so yeah, no problem Pav, it's fine. Invite quickly declined, so that's all okay. And awesome, I'm gonna update the stream title and we're gonna get underway with this game in just about a minute. After wait for everyone to load in, I'll do a formal introduction and then we will be underway. So that's about it right now. What do we got going on? Fantastic. Hope you guys are all enjoying stream chat. I am just spectating off Dota TV, so I'm actually live with you guys. I will answer any questions or anything like that if anyone has them. But anyway, welcome back to the SEA League Qualifier number 1. This is, I believe, our winner bracket final between Dreamz, Lydian, and First Departure. First Departure going to be over on the Radiant side, and I've actually been following them more or less this evening. Just casted a game from them before. Dreamz, Lydian going to be over on the Dire, and I'm actually yet to watch them play this evening, so we'll see how that all works out for me. As always, I am Basekip, bringing you guys this game. Again, I am just spectating off Dota TV for this cast, so that's about it. First band going to be the Ducks here. Again, as always, as we have sort of seen in the tournament so far, keep an eye on the PL and the Coddle. We saw that First Departure actually had a nice little tactic for dealing with the PL. Some of that was due to the opposing team not taking the Coddle when they had the opportunity. And to Pain360 in chat, I do not have a pet koala. So, sorry to disappoint you there, but I've never actually had any pets. But that's the story for a completely different time. We've got some exciting Dota coming up ahead of us right now. And Gods is not casting this game because he has the Beyond the Summit, well, he has the 4PL Staff Cup to compete in underneath the Beyond the Summit banner. So good luck to him. I think he's also playing with P-Flax in that team. And Statsman Bruno, so should be some fun games. There are multiple streams around the place for those games as well, though I think Staff Cup doesn't start for another few minutes. Anyway, getting underway with the game, we're going to have another we're going to have a Batrider ban out from First Departure. And, well, pretty just pretty slow bans to start us off, in fact. Not the team wanting to be too hasty and trying to think of how things play out, especially keeping the Coddle PL in the back of your mind the entire time. It is often worth banning out the Keeper of the Light if you want to try and deal with the PL. And first pick is actually going to be over on the side of Dreamz this game. So if First Departure don't want to get forced into a PL pickup, they might... Oh, okay, so we've actually got a Magnus ban out. So Dreamz could opt to pick up the Keeper of the Light here, and then First Departure might have something innovative going on with a PL pickup of their own. I haven't seen them play against Coddle plus PL just yet. We obviously saw them deal with a Shadow Demon plus PL, dealing with a defensive tri-lane quite handily, but they're actually going to leave... Well, Dreamz are actually going to opt to leave the Coddle in the pool. They're going to pick up the Queen of Pain as their very first pickup. So a little bit unusual there. Not sure if it would have been taken immediately by First Departure. Now the question is, do they just take Coddle PL? Do Dreamz maybe have something up their sleeves to deal with it? Again, it is a really obnoxious sort of strategy to have to play against, because there is sort of this ticking timer on the match where, unless you have a nice team composition for dealing with in late game, and I'm actually yet to sort of see a team comp that has dealt with a PL swiftly in the late game. Even, I mean, we've seen... going over the list again for anyone who wasn't here earlier, we've seen Wild Honey Badgers running Obsidian Destroyers, or Obsidian Devourers, sorry. We saw Power Rangers just a few days ago try and run themselves a Magnus with a Syllabear and an Alchemist to try and cleave down all the illusions. Didn't really work out, but there were some minor execution points to talk about in both of those games as well. And Lifesteal are actually going to be the pickup here for First Departure, so maybe a bit of a departure from some standard pickups, but Shadow Demon also covering that Lifestealer pick in a small way. Shadow Demon is one of the best supports against Anax, so taking him not only is a boon for them, but also helpful in terms of making sure that the Lifestealer isn't kited around too much, and might force Dreamz into picking up something like a Beastmaster, just to make sure that they have the lockdown for that Anax. So, exciting stuff, and Coddle and PL still in the pool, so interesting to see that. Maybe neither team, maybe there's some mutual respect for one another and not going to be running Coddle PL. It's not necessarily uncounterable, but it's obviously very, very strong at this point. So Dreamz, we will see what they go for. We've got someone disconnecting again, but that's just Lubby, so he's not drafting on the side of First Departure, and hopefully we'll see him reconnect fairly quickly. Dreamz actually taking a lot of time with these picks, and not sure 100% what the debate would be about. We didn't really see any staple sort of overpowered heroes, I suppose, make it through into the pool. The Undying is still there, but he's slightly more niche than he used to be. Yeah, and there's plenty of interesting wildlife here in Australia. I'm scrambling for content, so I'm going to jump over to stream chat and interact with you guys for a second, since there's not that much to talk about in terms of the draft right now. First Departure have secured themselves a fairly good defensive tri-lane as well if they're forced into that position. So Coddle PL is going to be picked up here by Dreamz, though First Departure have shown that they know how to deal with Coddle plus SD. Let's see if they have another early game strat up their sleeve to try and deal with the Phantom Lancer, and that's, in my opinion, really what you need to be doing up against a PL. Put the pressure on him early, maybe try and run an offensive tri-lane, don't let him get the farm, and then try and lock out the game from there. And I didn't get a new glass of water, so that's fun stuff for this game. But maybe in between the draft and getting into the game, we'll probably see a pause, and I'll go quickly dash to the kitchen and fill up my glass so I'm not coughing all over you guys. What is my upload speed? It's just around 1 megabit, so just enough to stream 720p. I'm on an Annex M connection with Internode, which means that I get a little bit more upload at the which sacrifices download. Trying to get that sentence out was a little bit difficult, but yeah, that's sort of how it works out. So, First Departure removing some fairly defensive pickups from the pool right now with the Earthshaker, someone that does synergize quite well with the Keeper of the Light, and I think we've actually seen First Departure running the Coddle ES, which is kind of a classic setup before, so I guess the ban there inspired a little bit by their own play. And Undying banned out here by Dreamz. Again, First Departure's last game, they were up against a PL Shadow Demon Jakiro on bot, The mid lane was SF against Nyx, and then top was Magnus versus Naga. Naga had trouble, at least at first, but then Nyx winning against SF mid meant that he was able to roam up and win top. And the offensive tri lane, which actually had a Coddle on the side of First Departure against that tri lane that I just mentioned, did a really good job of keeping the PL locked down, and the game sort of progressed from there. But this time the Keeper of Light is actually over on the side of Dreamz, and First Departure, again, I think early game aggression is really the name of the game. They might not be able to run an offensive tri-lane given that they are up against the Rubik, though some well-placed support bans might leave Dreamz with a slightly weak support for that defensive tri-lane, though there are still heroes like the Jakiro or even the Lina still in the pool. And Dreamz, what's the last ban out going to be for them? Again, they're trying to secure space to head towards the late game. First Departure could try and opt for duo carry to try and deal with PL, but again, you need enough AoE to try and mitigate it. They did manage to pick themselves up the Shadow Demon, so that's always a good response to the PL, since you can try and get your own army of illusions online, but it's not necessarily the most reliable thing to try and have as your overarching strategy. So Dreamz, they're going to choose to ban out the Sand King. First Departure, what's it going to be for them? Probably just another defensive support, or perhaps an offlaner. I'm not sure if they're concerned about the offlane right now. Again, they do still have an option to run an offensive tri-lane, though I think it might have to be defensive, especially up against the Keeper of the Light. Though we'll see how First Departure are feeling, and they're going to choose to ban out another defensive support in the Jakiro. So exciting stuff. We've still got Lubby disconnected on Departure, so I guess showing how much he contributes to the drafting for First Departure. And this is what a few hours of casting does to me. Getting a little bit coffee. I'll go fill up my water glass in between the draft and just everyone picking up their heroes, and then hopefully I'll be back as quickly as I possibly can. So sorry about that, guys. Not very professional from me, but I do need it, otherwise I'm going to be a little hoarse by the end of this one. So Dreamz right now a little bit stun light. It would be nice to see some stun on their support, though ES and Jakiro have been both banned out. So in terms of a defensive support with an AoE stun, there's not actually that many options left in the pool. They could opt for something like the Lion, which wouldn't be a bad choice. And it's actually going to be Enigma, so this is pretty greedy from Dreamz. He could be on the offlane, but he could also be in the jungle, and if he's actually trying to jungle and they pick up an offlaner as their last pick, then I think Dreamz are actually opening themselves up to being offensively tri-laned against. They could go for an even more defensive strategy by picking up a third support for bot and then having the Enigma there as the threat to shut down the potential of an offensive tri-lane. But Dreamz are going to lock into their remaining hero before First Departure make their remaining selection. So FD can actually choose even someone like a Winner right now who could solo the offlane or solo the safe lane, and then use their last pick to decide whether or not they're going to be offensively tri-laning. So yeah, we'll see how this all works out. But again, I think First Departure, it's going to be a very similar strategy for them this game, like we saw last game that they played against the PL. Put the pressure on him early. We'll take advantage of the fact that he's completely useless early on in the game. So, from what country is First Departure? I believe they are Singaporean, Togo. And Storm Spirit's actually going to be the pickup here by FD, so we'll see how these lanes work out. Lion is actually going to be that last pickup for Dreamz, so they secured themselves a second support for that bottom lane. It's extremely defensive tactics for them right now if the Enigma is going to be in the jungle. But sacrificing those towers on the off lane, worth it even if it's for the, worth the trade for the farm on the Phantom Lancer, trying to get that thought out. And Dazzle is actually going to be the last pickup here for FD, so it looks like we're going to see perhaps a solo Puck and a solo Storm. And then Dazzle, Shadow Demon, and Lifestealer, the combo for that bottom lane. Perhaps. Well, actually, no, for the top lane. I keep forgetting that they're Radiant. For that offensive tri-lane, I suspect. And the Dazzle's a nice combo with the Shadow Demon. You can heal the Disruption Illusions. Does a crap ton of damage. We saw LGD Int run something very similar to this, but instead of the Lifestealer, they had a Kunkka. It didn't work out great, but the concept obviously is there. Is this a best of 3? I believe it's a best of 1, though I might have to get a confirmation there from somebody Maybe one of the mods can trace that down, because again, I'm not an official caster for this game, I'm just off the ticket. I don't necessarily have all of the information. So sorry about that, iPhone Nano. Okay, getting into the game, I'll remember to switch over to my overlays. So over on the side of Dreams, okay, so they've barely got enough letters to actually fill their names. So we're going to have Y playing the Lion, L is going to be playing the Enigma, Aoi on the Phantom Lancer, some guy whose name is going to have to be clarified for me playing the Keeper of the Light, and Jules is going to be on the Queen of Pain. Over on the side of Departure, we've got Polo-san playing the Storm Spirit heading towards mid. We've got Miracle playing the Life Stealer. It's going to be Game is Tough playing the Puck, so it's going to be a solo safe lane Puck perhaps, though Lubby and Z playing the Dazzle and the Shadow Demon respectively, now heading down towards bot, but now actually heading up towards top. So a little bit of indecisiveness there. Maybe we're looking to try and place down some wards to keep Game is Tough safe, but looks like they just want everything for top lane. They have actually opted to pick up some sentries, which would normally be more indicative of running a defensive tri-lane, but a lot of the reason for that is that Dreams could opt to place a ward in this region, which actually blocks this hard camp, which is actually an asset for the Radiant side in a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario on top, than it is an advantage for the Dire side, because they can look to chop down these trees and then pull things across into lane. And again, they're the offensive tri-lane, they're the ones looking for the kills, so forcing Dreams into a weird position by having to fight in and around this region would spell trouble. And I have a confirmation that this game is best of 1. So going to ward up on the high ground from Departure, one that is very unlikely to be dewarded, but some of the vision, not all that useful. It's mainly just Riversight, does give them the rune as well, however. And the guy with the Chinese characters is apparently JYC. So thanks again, Cora, you've been a big help. So mid lane is going to be Storm up against Queen of Pain. It's probably a matchup that favors the Quap a little bit, but we've seen Polo pull off some ridiculous stuff in this tournament so far. So we'll see how that works out for him. A fairly regen heavy build to start things off as well. Miracle going forward aggressively, but the Illuminate keeping Lubby back actually cops that one in the face, and now Miracle maybe in a little bit of trouble. He already has the open wounds picked up. Being harassed down slightly, and looks like Z, what was he actually up to? Didn't see what the 0-minute rune was. That might actually be all the way down bot, unless it was already denied. Yeah, so didn't manage to spot that one, and oh, Y is in trouble. There's the disruption and the heal just off camera there. First kill going to be picked up by Departure. Nicely played, and seeing that combo come out, the Shadow Wave does a huge amount of damage at level 1, and especially with 3 targets, and well, a few targets just in the vicinity to get that off. So nicely played. They find the first kill and off to a good start up on this top lane. Sorry about missing that one, guys, but it will, well, hopefully that won't be the trend. Bottom lane's going to be Enigma against Puck. Probably something that favors the Puck a little bit. He's got enough nuking power to get rid of the Eidolons. I mean, once Enigma gets 6, there is the potential for him to find a kill, but Puck, it should be favoring him at least a little bit, and he's actually up for 9 for 2, while L is all the way down at 1 for 1. There's a disruption going one more time. The open wounds is ready, but the Caudal Blast is going to be channeled up. Aoi now in trouble. The heal perfectly timed, going for a little bit of a dive, but the open wounds now wearing off. And no real follow-up stuns or anything like that from the supports. So they got the full combo, they got some health down, but needing to back off after that point. And Calicott is typing Kappa faces in chat again, so nothing surprising there. In terms of warding right now, it's actually worked out heavily in the Radiant favor. They've got the pull camp blocked out. They've managed to keep the hard camp unblocked, so there's some XP potentially there for them. And Sentry wards making sure, well, dealing swiftly with any sort of lane wards that would have been placed down by Dreams. Up on, do we have any trouble just yet? Not quite. I'm just trying to check in on ward status. If both of them have been used. There's still some sentries on the side of Dreams. And now Aoi targeted again. Is he going to be able to escape this time? Not quite. Still in range of that sentry ward. One more right click through. Finds that kill for Miracle. And this Departure showing to know exactly what they're doing in terms of running an offensive tri-lane to shut down this PL. Doing a great job of it. And the Keeper of the Light not being all that much of a nuisance in terms of keeping them back. So nicely played. The Dazzle is working out quite well. As well, the heal keeping everyone topped off in between those Illuminates. So it means that they can afford to play as aggressively as they are. And Shadow Demon going to get that clarity off uncontested. So JYC is trying to avoid, well, pushing the wave out too much since they want to farm underneath the tower. And as I say that, I miss a kill. Jules diving deep underneath the tower to pick up a kill on Polo. So nicely played by him. Looks like he's going to make it out to safety. And the second kill missed by me. Sorry, guys. I got to stop peeking at stream chat and just keep an eye up here. Nice 3-man eliminate connects. Miracle not really in trouble, but dropping fairly low at this point. And there's not a whole lot of regen left in this lane either, that the salve is going to be passed from Z across. Bot lane still sort of going as expected. Game is tough. Sort of styling on the Enigma, but that's the nature of the matchup, less than the nature of the players. And hello to Ramion King in chat. Looking at you is actually what was the reason that I wasn't paying enough attention to the map. Not your fault, mine, but I guess that's my excuse, and I'll stick with it. 4-minute rune has just spawned. It's an invis up towards top, and Polo heading that way right now. Queen of Pain with a very significant level advantage on mid, now up to 6, with Polo only down at 4. Looks like he maybe didn't have enough money for a TP to get back out to lane. So he's definitely in trouble right now. The disruption is going to go on the Keeper of Light. Is the follow-up going to be that they need that open wounds? The heal not actually doing all that much damage, and the open wounds not quite in range. Nice stun there from Y, but he's not done. Now the open wounds on Aoi, dropping low, still on top of his sentry. A few more right clicks going to do it. Miracle finds himself another kill, and now JYC in trouble as well. Z finds himself that kill, and no kill in response either from Dreamz. So still aggressive tri lane working out great. Effectively 2 lanes, 1 right now for departure. The mid lane might need a little bit of help. Polo still mitigating the situation fairly well, and still staying up there sort of in terms of last hits. And all 6-minute rune still a little way away. So still just, well, departure, the aggression has been diffused a little bit. They're starting to run out of regen. They've got wands and things like that running, but Z is actually heading all the way back to base. Unfortunately, the supports that they have don't really have the potential to gank the Queen of Pain. On mid, though, Storm does now have some points up in the Electric Vortex. The stun duration might be enough to burst her down if both supports make a movement through, but only one probably wouldn't be enough. Z is actually opting for a Shadow Poison build in this game. So I guess trying to make up a little bit for the fact that if the Shadow Wave isn't enough damage to really burst someone down with the Soul Catcher, then they need a little bit more on top. And Z looks like he's making a movement towards mid. Perhaps Invis is going to be popped off by Polo. The 6-minute rune approaching as night falls right now. And we've actually got L maybe deciding to abandon the bottom lane a little bit so he can go and get some farm, but game is tough, is finding some fantastic farm right now. Miracle in a little bit of trouble, but a nice shallow grave keeping him alive there. Well played by Lubby. And a lot of that just due to the fact that Z wasn't down there. The 6-minute rune did spawn, and those are the illusions that are heading up onto the high ground right now. So yeah, JYC, just checking the name in stream chat, doing the best that he can. On mid, Polo doing okay. He's now up to level 6, so a little bit less likely to be killed off by the Queen of Pain. Though the full nuke combo of the Screen of Pain and the Sonic Wave, probably enough to pop the Storm Spirit. He is quite squishy at this point, and again a little bit behind, though catching up rapidly. Enigma's off in the jungle, so maybe looking to make something happen on top. He is now level 6, so he has that black hole available. And Miracle maybe just trying to stay up here long enough to get 6 and be able to invest a creep to heal. But it looks like he's actually going to be taking a trip back to base at last. Game is tough. Heading across towards mid, he's got some arcane boots picked up. And looks like Jules just going to be bottle crowing a little bit. They don't really have tabs on game right now, but he could only really be going top or mid, obviously. And Jules actually heading down towards bot. We'll see what he's doing with this movement. I mean, they could opt to send the Enigma mid to try and still make use of all of their lanes. But Jules down here, maybe trying to find a kill on the puck. Again, it's a pretty interesting dynamic, this matchup, the Clop versus the puck. And a kill can go either way. It does really come down to player skill and whichever abilities puck is able to dodge. And L is La and Y is Yoshi. So thanks for that, Cora. You're saving my ass as always. So big thanks to Cora. Well, I'll just call him Corey. He's my friend. We got an open wounds on Yoshi, but the stun not going to connect. The rage actually level 3, so if he right clicks through, going to pick up that kill, though. In the back, looks like Shadow Demon and Dazzle did die at the same time. Game is tough comes in, but he's actually killed off by a Spirit Lance. Coddle choosing to break the die, and an Infestrum Nakes gets him back to safety. So the exchange actually, in the end, 3 for 2. And Aoi does survive. The Nake's still infested right now, but needs to pop out fairly soon. Miracle healthy and underneath the tower right as Lubby TPs himself back into the lane. But a nice movement up from Jules. Finding those kills, nice counter gank, even with Game is Tough making his way up there. So this has all been time for Polo to farm up a little bit on mid. He's got a double damage rune bottled up and looking towards Jules right now. Not sure he's going to be able to find anything at the same time. JYC does drop on top. One more kill going the way of Departure. And Polo still making his way up there right about now. So Aoi needs to be careful. Let's have a quick check in on the anti-invis. There's no wards down. There's nothing on Polo. And looks like the call is just going to be made for him to head back to mid since they don't have any anti-invis flown out. Was just really wasting his time looking for a gank on the PL. Unless PL has some pretty slow reaction times and isn't able to get into the double walk before the Vortex. Interesting to see that Polo has actually opted to max out the Remnant as opposed to the Overload in this game, so a little bit more nuke oriented as opposed to just spamming off the ball lightning to try and get those stacks of damage up. We've actually got Dreamz going for the tier 1 on mid. Fortification is going to pop, but it's only Polo trying to hold out by himself. Looks like Departure might try and put some pressure on the tier 1 on top, but JYC comes in with the Illuminate and sort of puts an end to that plan. Game is Tough is split pushing a little bit on bot as well, with the tier 1 on mid. Already in trouble. Polo looked for the deny, and he had a double damage rune up as well, so a little bit unfortunate for him. Jules does manage to grab himself the last hit. And Aoi drops low on top, but so does Miracle. They get a nice shallow grave down, though it wasn't really needed with the heal. Eliminate flies through, but doesn't connect on anyone. And Y now making movement up towards top. We've got a Malphistun going out on Lubby. He is in trouble. Doesn't have really anything available. There's a disruption, and Miracle still just chasing after Keeper of Light. They do find that kill. The Sonic Wave through. Nice black hole. Connect on 2. Game is Tough now in trouble, and a killing spree for Aoi as Miracle tries to pick up one more kill before he dies. Just being right click down, and actually the Shadow Wave almost killing off Jules there. Just a matter of a few HP. The Lubby may drop at the same time. Lots of stun stacking, but might be able to kill him off. Still the heal. Still just fighting. Aoi turning around. One last Spirit Lance finds that kill, but the Poison Touch enough to slow him down and grab that one for Dazzle. So nicely played by him there. Polo comes up, but he's pretty low on mana. Does he have enough of a combo to kill off Y? Doesn't actually have a Vortex and a Remnant. He's going to pick himself up some Arcane Boots, and we'll see if this combo is going to be enough. Enigma still has enough mana for a Malefice, and maybe being careful about this one. The TP support now coming in. He's going to reveal himself. The Malphistun is available, but Enigma a little bit slow on the turnaround, and in comes Miracle. Open wounds on the creep. A little bit of a misclick there, and Miracle might not be able to find this kill because of it. A little bit unfortunate for him, and just a small misplay. Misses him a kill, so... Game is Tough rejoining the team up on top. They're still looking to put some pressure on the PL, but he is actually just heading back to base, making some pretty good progress towards his defusal. Not as badly shut down as the PL was in the last game that Departure was dealing with him. So, oh, what's going on with Jules and Polo? Polo's actually completely out of mana, but Jules on their retreat does now get silenced up. The Dream Coil is available, however, and Lubby comes in as well, so the Dream Coil is going to be broken. Lubby 3 points up in that Poison Touch. It's going to have a mini stun in just a second as well. The right clicks through, and the, well, not even a mini stun. It's a reasonable duration stun. Well, 1 second, but gave enough time for the eliminate for the orb to come through. Miracle actually in trouble, just right clicking away on JYC. Might be able to find this one. Phase Boots does actually connect it, and just trying to find the creep wave to infest. But one more right click from the Eidolon picks that one up. So, man fighting a little bit against 2, but does find a kill before he dies. And yes, the Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Not a misclick, he used it for burst damage. No, he misclicked the open wounds on a creep. Not the infest. The open wounds on the Enigma. That's what I'm talking about, Oriabab. Anyway. And Aoi may be in trouble. He's been dusted up, and now the grab through. Game is Tough and Folison. No trouble for them to pick themselves up that kill. So PL gets greedy trying to farm down on bot, but does pay for it and loses his head. So that's a little bit of a fun fact there. Don't push too aggressively. You'll be decapitated by Puck and Storm Spirit. And Keeper of Light doing what he does best, just creating space. And Departure, it's 15 minutes in. We haven't seen them take a tower just yet. So the Keeper of Light really doing his job in terms of slowing down the push. Jules jumps up onto the high ground, but Game is Tough and Polo both waiting here, stacking their disables a little bit. Is it going to be enough? They are going to find this kill. The Dream Coil thrown out in desperation, so some bad communication forces him to use the ultimate, and Miracle diving back underneath the tower right now. L is in big trouble, pops off the mech to try and survive, but does drop. JYC trying to make his retreat. Yoshi does have one last stun available. Jules comes in looking for Lubby. He does have a shallow grave up, however, and looks like both of them might be able to get out. Miracle actually considering the turnaround, now going for Yoshi, but Jules going to throw the Sonic Wave out on Lubby, who does survive, popping up I think 15 stick charges or so to survive that one. Now the grave and the TP out. He's going to be fine to survive. So nicely played, and out pops Miracle. He's going for JYC one more time. Game is Tough comes in again. Yoshi able to get a nice two-man stun off. And now on the retreat, still walking past the ward, so they know that he's back behind the tower. And looks like Miracle, he's not done. The fortification actually pops, but just showing his presence here. Still a whole bunch of wand charges in his arsenal as well. And Aoi doing a pretty good job of just farming down on bot right now. Again, still no tower taken just yet from Departure, but we've actually got a Blink Dagger finished up on the puck, so Game is Tough really carrying his weight right now after the easy sort of free farmy start that he had against the Enigma. Enigma does now have a mech finished up and the Black Hole off cooldown again, so it's slightly more even than last time, but Jules now in trouble, slowed down the silence through as well, trying to get a little bit of wave damage, didn't actually connect. The drum charge is going to pop. It's a rank 4 blink, it's going to be off cooldown in just a second. The Illuminate might clip. Game is Tough, he tries to phase shift it, but not quite, and Aoi comes in from the side, phase shift on cooldown for just a few more seconds, blinks down, and not quite, well, think would have just disjointed it with the blink, but Enigma waiting there with the Maleficent stun finds that kill, and L very happy with his positioning right there, and a pretty good choice as to where he was. The puck being scared down to the low ground. Had he been able to phase shift the Illuminate, he would have been fine, so that's kind of just a ping issue, I suppose, there. So how are things working out right now in terms of the graphs? I might need to hold that thought, just hearing a roll go out. It's 3k the XP swing and 1.5k gold, both in favor of the Radiant, but not a huge lead. And PL again still creeping his way towards that defusal. Dreamz doing a good job of just using 4 heroes to keep the majority of Departure occupied, and Miracle now stunned up as well. There's going to be a shallow grave, maybe anticipating a finger, but actually here's the turnaround. JYC in trouble. Polison rolls through. Mech pops off to keep JYC alive for at least a few more seconds, tries to get some damage down. Nice Black Hole connect onto Lubby. Doesn't actually have the stun available, but now canceling off L's Black Hole. Y trying to make his retreat, but Departure far from done. 5 heroes coming through, and the roll from Polison in over the top. They find themselves 3 in exchange for none, and should be able to finally grab a tower off the back of this as well. At the same time, Jules does find a solo tower on bot, so a little bit of a trade there for Dreamz. It's not an overwhelming lead for Departure, but now looking to solidify it just a little bit further. And I can only assume that the GD stream for the Staff Cup must be amazing. I'm going to make sure to watch those VODs later on. So Miracle, I think he's finished up his armlet right now. That is now flying out. Dreamz have managed to claim themselves a few towers, so again, keeping themselves in the game right now, and PL is really what they're making space for at the moment. Once we sort of get to the ultra late game, he is really going to be the hardest carry in the game. Nags could opt for something like a Battle Fury to try and mitigate those illusions at least a little bit, but if we get to the late game, the PL, by virtue of being PL and just by virtue of being an agi carry against a strength carry, should be fine. If Departure are able to identify the real PL, and if Storm and Puck get a reasonable level of farm, they will be able to jump him and maybe kill him off if they have maybe 1 or 2 hexes, something like that. But they really don't want that. They really don't want the game to get to that point. Looking to clinch this one out early before PL really comes online in a big way. And get fucking wrecked. That's the guy's name on stream. And hold that thought, Miracle's in trouble. He's got the rage in just a second, didn't actually manage to dodge out of the way. Now popping off the armlet, silence on Jules, trying to find this kill, the Dream Coil as well, going to be breaking that one just to try and escape, and JYC sort of sacrificing his life with the TP to buy enough time for Jules to try and make his escape. Game is Tough, still chasing, Blink Dagger to be off cooldown in just a second, the roll through, and enough damage with the Infest as well for Game is Tough to find that kill. So Jules, a little bit of a ballsy TP out, but the Ball Lightning was going to be there for Polo at any second, and had enough mana to pretty much roll anywhere. Does now find himself a regen rune as well, so a very fortuitous circumstance there. And the response that I was trying to make to the person in stream chat was, this is why you have 2 really big monitors, so you can watch 2 streams at the exact same time. It's what I've been doing the past few nights in terms of Dota. But anyway, now looking a little bit better for Departure, extending their lead out to 10. Not sure why I'm still on last hits denied. Switching over to net worth does show that pretty much every lane worked out fantastically for them. Dreams are just going to be trying to hold on using the Coddle and the Enigma. They've got plenty of spam to clear out the waves, but we have seen that Departure are great at sort of running starvation tactics, keeping Dreams back in the base, and they may be finding that farm. Polo with a big roll in, going for JYC. Still trying to put some damage out, trying to dodge that. Trying to dodge out of the way of this thing. The Finger of Death pops out on Polo as well, but he's still alive for now. JYC dropping low. Miracle actually dropping on top of Yoshi right now. The mech pops, not enough for JYC. Aoi comes in. Miracle doesn't actually have that infest available anymore. Now purged up, the stun through. Shallow Grave, perfectly timed. He might be able to survive here with a nice omelet toggle. Needs to actually take that one off. Toggling now, does survive. Game is tough. Still going hard, and Aoi silence up as Polo goes to work on La up in the trees. He's in a little bit of trouble, but he's got his Bloodstone and enough mana to roll down onto the low ground, just waiting at the duration of those stuns, trying to bait La into a bit of a snafu. But he's actually going to die as Game is Tough comes through, and Aoi finds himself in a choke point. He's going to drop as well, so Polo must have been some ping spam or something on him saying kill the storm, kill the storm, kill the storm, but not enough in the end. And actually baiting everyone back into the trees so the rest of his team could wipe up that fight. We didn't see any buybacks or anything like that, so just great play from Departure, keeping everyone alive. And that was very, very well played. Sentry Ward going to be spotted out up on the high ground. Departure find themselves into the tower. They're swinging the XP and the gold out wildly right now. Curve accelerating out. And still finding some good farm around the map. Miracle now up to 2.9k gold as well. Maelstrom might be the next big pickup for him, since it does help deal with the PL illusions, at least in a small way. And they're not very tanky at this point. He is sort of being forced to participate in these fights, and looks like he's now just maybe heading towards a drum, realizing that he may need to actually do something a little bit earlier than 40 minutes. So, Departure backing off to try and take stock again, but still sitting still sitting quite prettily in terms of the farm, and Polo actually doing a great job. Well, we'll see if he picks up some treads. Will do. And 10 Bloodstone charges up as well, really playing his mind out on the storm. We've got Dreams trying to defend this tower down on bot, but it's only a tier 1, and just look at this defensive positioning from them right now. They're so afraid of the puck and the storm rolling through, blinking and rolling through to break these turtles. And it's working out fantastically for Departure, a nice tactic to deal with the Keeper of the Lights turtling gameplay. So Jules comes in, throws out the screams to try and clean up the creep wave, but again, they're just so afraid of the puck and the storm. Storm is going to show his face on mid, so the notice is there at least for now, but Naix is infested up in Game is Tough, and if Game sees an opportunity for a blink, he's going to take it. Especially if he can get the silence up on 1 or 2 heroes, Naix should really just be able to go to town. Aoi doing the best that he can up on top to try and claim a tier 1. Will be able to do so, but looks like it's going to be a trade down on bot for Departure. Coddle doing what he can off to the side, and that's going to cancel Game's blink as well. Doesn't actually manage to dodge the eliminate there. On mid, a kill actually going off on Polo. So 3-man gank there, does find a kill. And gem actually now picked up by Jules. That was Departure's gem just a little bit earlier, so Polo losing that one. A little bit unfortunate, and Aoi still doing a good job of pushing up on top. We've got some TPs coming through from Miracle, but tower already dropping low. Game is Tough comes through with the spam. So Dreams still holding on, still getting farm on the PL. It's anyone's game right now, but Departure, the clock is ticking. They need to be trying to clinch this one out, and losing that gem and some Bloodstone charges on Polo, actually a really significant gank there. So Lobby just farming up a bit. He's almost got his mech online. Miracle actually going for a Skull Basher, so a little bit interesting to see that one, but should be working out quite well for him. And well, Co-op Illusion just right-clicking the smoked heroes right now. Whether or not illusions are supposed to have the Gem of True Sight effect, I'm not sure. I feel like they're not. But someone may have to correct me on that one in chat, because yeah, I definitely feel like illusions shouldn't be getting the gem effect. But yeah, somebody is gonna have to confirm that one for me. That's a bit weird. And there's no wards or anything around. It is the gem on the Queen of Pain illusion spotting out that smoke gank. That's weird. Illusion have the effect, illusions don't have the effect. I'm getting mixed messages here. Either way, it seems like they do, and I feel like that would be a gross oversight by Valve if that wasn't supposed to be the case. So we'll go with the fact that it is supposed to be. That's a new one to me. I mean, surprising, especially given that things like the Spirit Bear don't get the gem effect. Okay, so confirmation that it does work that way in Dota 1. Sorry about that, guys. Getting a little bit distracted. Departure just trying to push in right now, but they don't really have anything to deal with the split push. No bits of travel, nothing like that. And Aoi looking to claim himself a tier 2 on bot. So, a little bit unfortunate for Departure. They are getting split pushed a little bit to death, and the Defusal 2 now online on the PL as well. Miracle Force back to try and deal with this creep wave, which is going to end the push on mid. Frankly, Polo now heading towards a BKB, so a nice pickup for him, though he will still be able to be caught by the black hole. And that's pretty much all that's happening right now. Dreamz still just holding on, sort of waiting for that late game. We've got a medallion now picked up for the Keeper of the Light and the Maelstrom bot by Miracle. So just making a brief stop off for the Bash here before heading back to the Maelstrom. And Aoi's still finding some great farm all around the map. He's been only punished once for being off split pushing and things like that. So doing a pretty good job. And yeah, we'll still looking okay for Departure, but again, Nakes is going to peak a little bit earlier than PL, who is now starting to find his farm, creeping his way back up towards the top of that net worth standings. Hexes are still a little way away for the Puck and the BKB, still a ways away for Storm, but not sure if they can afford to wait around for them. Going to be grouping up for a 5-man push on bot, which where PL was, so it's going to take him some time to start getting full push rolling towards top. So they should at least be able to grab this tier 2 before anything bad happens. And Polo now invested up, looking for the roll at any time. Going to jump onto the Keeper of Light, but it's a little bit too low. But now jumps onto JYC, Miracle pops out, and La forced back up onto the high ground. A nice kill picked up there. Mech not actually used, so I guess just a little bit flabbergasted at what happened to the Keeper of the Light, but also just holding on to it since Departure. Not sure if they're done. They're not really feeling the pressure from Aoi just yet, and he's actually using the illusions to farm the jungle as opposed to pushing through top. So he's not going to be forcing TPs back anytime soon. Departure now moving through towards mid, going for a little bit of push there, trying to claim the remaining outer tower. We saw a medallion actually picked up on the Keeper of Light. They had their sights set on Rosh, but Departure heads straight into the pit and looking to secure this one for themselves. Dreamz, not a whole lot that they can do. They can just leave the PL split pushing on top to try and grab this tower, and it is actually dropping low, but the tier 2 for Roshan, not a bad exchange, and Game is Tough is actually hunting the PL right now. Sees the illusion, actually just blinks straight past it. And will he be able to get the deny off on this tower? It looks like he might. Storm grabbing himself that Aegis, and Game able to get the deny. So nice overall trade for Departure there. They find a tower, they find Roshan. Well, they find a kill, they find a tower, they find Roshan, and it's only in exchange for a denied tower. So again, they need to try and group up and make use of this Aegis in the next 6 minutes, but things still on track for them. The only real hiccup was losing that gem earlier on, though it looks like they may have gotten it back. Or it was just broken by Dreamz. That or it's somewhere in the base. Yeah, but no. Okay, or on the courier, no. I'm either blind right now or the gem has vanished. I guess deciding that it's too much of a risk to try and give that back to Departure. And with the Puck and the Storm, no one is really safe. The gem just makes you a target. So it's either somewhere dropped in the base and I'm not noticing it, or they've actually destroyed it. If anyone noticed something that I didn't, then please do tell me in chat. But anyway, I guess the one advantage that they do have going for them is that they have the Shadow Demon who's able to turn the PL against Dreamz right now. That's sort of plan B for the late game. And they're going to have a few hexes up quite soon, with Game grabbing one. And once Polo finishes up that BKB, which he almost has, he'll probably start working towards a hex of his own. So they do sort of have the late game tools to deal with the PL. And while he is farmed, we are 28 minutes into the game, and he's got the Fusel 2 and drums, so not as dominant as we would normally expect to see from a safe lane PL. And yeah, Calicott showing some confusion as to what to watch right now. If you go to T-Vox, you should probably be able to like picture-in-picture 2 streams, and then maybe tile a couple as well, depending on your bandwidth. But yeah, there's the Staff Cup right now, there's this game, there's a whole bunch of Dota and stuff at the moment. And yeah, all of them have audio, so you gotta decide. The thing with the Staff Cup is that there's so many streams on, because everybody who's playing is allowed to stream as well. It's not like a tournament. So it's all pretty casual, it's all pretty fun. Cinderin's casting, the GD Studio probably has casters, the GD Studio's team will probably have a stream, and that's probably the source of the confusion there. But back to the game. Departure still putting the pressure on. They've got one less tier 2 to claim on mid. They should be able to just leverage the Aegis, the threat of the Aegis, to find that one. Polo is almost finished up his BKB. Though we'll see what Dreams are going for right now. We've got a smoke on Jules heading down towards bot, looking for this initiate to get Hex up on Polo. He needs to try and make his escape, but Lion gets in range with all of the disables, well timed, actually uses the Finger of Death to pick that one up, still holding on to the Impale, not perfectly timed there, so Polo's going to be able to roll himself all the way away to safety. So only the Aegis lost there, but a nice little gank from Dreams, and Jules making great use of that Hex, given that he did just pick that one up. So yeah, what a gank. Well played there, but a bit of a mistimed stun from the Lion. But it's difficult. You don't really practice the timing on Aegis respawns. It's easy for imprisonments. Well, it's kind of easy for imprisonments. It's really easy for disruption. It's not very easy for the Aegis. So did the best that he possibly could there. And Miracle still just farming up. He's finished up his Mjolnir right now. So there is a small deterrent to the PLs focusing him too much, and those illusions are still quite squishy for the time being. Hasn't really made any progress towards a heart just yet. And Departure, without that Aegis, they don't have the advantage that they did to try and push down a Rax, but that's all they've got left to try and do on the map. Roshan's a little way away, they can't give time to the PL to farm, and they've got to test the waters heading up towards top. I think most significant item pickups have been finished, so Puck has got his Hex, there's a BKB up on Polo, they're looking to take this fight pretty much immediately. Is the roll through in? What am I missing right now? Keeper of the Light already dead on mid. Okay, that's... Map awareness fails me there, but the roll used and the infest. They get rid of the Coddle, and that's a pretty big pickup. He's on the sideline, at least for a little while. No buyback available, and he is the primary source of the counter push. BKB, Black Hole, going to connect on to there. Game is tough, trying to go to work, and Miracle in the back lines of play as well. Trying to pick off Yoshi. Polo still has not used that BKB just yet, and now Law in trouble. GG is actually going to be called by Dreams. What an early tap out from them. Wow. That fight went awry, and realizing that Departure were going to be able to pick up the Rax and then probably go for a second one as well. So the GG going to be called. That's crazy. Well played by Departure. Well, this stream's over, so now you can watch any of the Staff Cup streams. Sorry about the missed kills and things like that. My map awareness is failing me a little bit since it is now 2:30 a.m. in the morning, so I'm getting a little bit sketchy in terms of the casting, but I hope you guys enjoyed it all the same. The GG has been called. There's still a bit of fighting happening. Nice Shallow Grave there from Lubby, and Owly actually going to drop there. It has the buyback as well, trying to vent his frustrations, I suppose, at this game. Sonic Wave pops. Yeah, Jules finds himself a kill, but again, the game is over, so that's pretty much all she wrote. Zeke's going to try and find himself a little army of PLs of his own, but there aren't really any creeps or anything around. Just get those one up on, and Polo keeping Z alive right now, actually going to pick up the kill on Owly. Yeah, GG's going to be called again by Owie, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, game is tough, looking for the kill on Law right now, just skirting the edge of that Midnight Pulse. Lubby comes in, he's got a Shallow Grave available as well. He's opted for 3 points in the Poison Touch because that's the level where you get the stun on it. The first point is okay, but getting the max range up on that Shallow Grave is great, and seeing the Shallow Grave come into play right now. Oh, Toby's stream should be pretty fun. A nice deny on the puck from Miracle there. Yeah. Thanks, Calicott. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll wait around for the final score screen for the sake of the VODs, but everyone should go and watch the Staff Cup. There is some hilarity ensuing. The recommendations from chat are apparently the Beyond the Summit stream, LD's, which I think is LD's player perspective. There's the 2GD cast, I believe, and there's also a 2GD stream, so the Good Studio stream, and then also Toby's are the recommendations right now. So thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the winner bracket of the SEA League Qualifier number 1, first departure against Dreamz, and first departure showing that they are not afraid to play against Coddle PL. Well executed by them, and they are going to advance. I believe this takes them to the grand final, where they'll be facing whoever progresses through the lower bracket to face up against them. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope to see you for future broadcasts. If you've got any feedback for me or any replays or anything like that, then please feel free to send me an email at basekeepdota@gmail.com. But I'm going to go and watch the Staff Cup. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope to see you for the future broadcasts. Well, for future broadcasts. Blah, 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 blah. Go enjoy the Staff Cup. That's all I got to say.